Good afternoon from Yammy TV. Wishing you all well today and hoping your day is going the best it possibly can. I had a message. Sorry about that. I had a message the other day from Sham and quite rightly reminded me about danger spots and the smooth running of a prison regime day to day. Now, what he asked me was, said Uncle Yammy, what about the most dangerous walkways and free flows and labour movements in a prison setting that you've seen? So obviously, it jinked into the old brain, and I was remembering that, of course, a lot of the grafting, hustling, and bad behaviour for real serious violence happens on those walkways in a prison setting. What I mean by walkways, or or um, oh God, what mean by walkways or labour movement, what I actually mean is every day in a prison setting, you get unlocked for morning labour, like allocated to your work areas, afternoon labour, and you know, you come back for tea in the evening. So there's normally two working times, like after breakfast, bang, labour, everybody off to work, and you all go out onto the same walkway or whatever it's designed for in a prison, and you set off for work. The thing is, when everybody's released at those times to go to, because remember there's a lot of working areas from textiles to metal shops to laundry to education to um, orderlies and all that kind of kitchens, everything you can think of, and healthcare appointments, all them things are joined at free flow. So if it's in the morning you got an appointment for, or you got to go work, everybody comes out at the same time. So, like if you've got 6 wings, 7 wings, 8 wings, everybody will be released in one big swoop. Now, me use that as a sign of to my advantage, where I worked out quite early on a lot of the hustlings and all the prison currency and all the things that go on in a prison setting are likely or sometimes happen when you're meeting up with people, because it's all right being on the wing with you a lot, but sometimes all the other things are on different wings, or you need to see people for different reasons on different wings. But if you're on your wing, of course you can't see them. So the best way to do it is get on the walkway, go down to there, wait outside the gate, meet up, see what's going on. Everybody doing their deals, everybody talking about this one and that one. Do the job down there, go and get rid of him. He owes me 100 quid, can you go and sort him out? And all that happens on the walkway, yeah? And it is a hot spot for violence, it's fair to say. So I think Sham was asking me, what was the worstest walkway and the most dangerous? Where you come out and there's loads of bodies and you've got loads of things going on. Because one of the things they do, not they do, to keep the control of prisons, like to break up trouble so people don't get to see each other, if there's a problem, like say, if you and me, if me and him have had a fight and we go on separate wings, so we're not together. But at the same time, they're gonna go, well, hold on a minute, yeah, they're on different wings now. But then at Labour time, say if a month later he's at work, going to his work area, I'm going to mine, but all we're both plotting to get each other back, kind of thing. So we're still in the same prison. Just because you're not living on the same wing, it doesn't mean that you're not gonna meet. Do you get me? So there's always ways around it. I could never understand after seeing a few bloodbaths, even getting stabbed there, hot water there, whatever, you get moved on to other wings. But yet the problem doesn't go away. And the person who's got the trouble never rest in peace, because he knows that he's in a prison where he's going to see somebody where it's likely to go off at some time. Tell me, how can you concentrate on your relief, resettlement, all the things you need to do when you've got all those things going on? Well, hard luck, I say, with some of it. It's what we do. It's how it's been. So we've got to face the consequences, not just out here for paying for our crimes, but the things that we've been involved in from the outside and the inside, with the troubles that go on with all everybody falling out over different reasons at different times for different things. Now, in the first place, I learned this, I think it was round about the early 90s. We'll start with a sea cat, because that sea cat in those days was the first place where I witnessed the murder. It was in Wayland. Now, I think they used to call it the M1 Wayland, or the motorway. or the concourse. Either way, I don't know which way I've got the prison's nickname because we used to have different names for different walkways, if you get what I mean. So Wayland was situated where one, two, three, four, five, six, and it was like a motorway. You go up, you come out, you go down. The gym's on the right. It's a long kind of walk, or you used to run down the corridor and blah blah blah. But it's a big walkway, and everyone gets to meet. And the other thing is, you go downstairs for another direction, and it's on the ground as well. So CCAT conditions, right? Someone's asked me to do A, B, C, D. What's the difference in the look and the criteria and what happens? We're going to do that another time. So Wayland was where I actually learned, I think, when I wanted to be a bad man, when I wanted to be a raving nutter, the times when I started trying to make a name for myself so that I could fit in, be respected, and be known as a man who is a bit off key, a bit of a nutter. He's capable of anything, so, he can hold his own. We know in later life it wasn't the best way to think, but a lot of people do things and camouflage about the way they really feel about themselves and then try and portray themselves to be something different. The only sad thing is, the longer you live that way, the more likely you are to become that quite naturally. Very difficult to shake off. But with me, I was so used to changing roles that I just continued. But anyway, Wayland, the walkway, the concourse, everything was open. Few people around at that time, the Colonel Boogie, Bummy, Lammy, the guy that died. Quite a lot of people was George Constantino. Not a few people were in Wayland at that time, right? So I learned that when I first started taking things and getting in the mix with the currency and moving like lightning every day, I worked out that being on the concourse is a great, great way to hit the jackpot. So, from all my moves, dog moves, I'm afraid, some fair moves out there, who's got what, he's got that, watching this, watching that. So you go on there and you approach somebody. Yeah, I've got 5 phone calls. Got this, got that, got that. Have you got anything there? Yeah, this, and then you get the thing. Or sometimes I used to work out that even if I can't, I got a bad name, can't go and get from this one and that one because I made a mess of it. Then someone else will say, yeah, I'm waiting for a bit, but I used to be out there lurking, watching, see when he gets it, and then when he comes around the corner, go right, boom, 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 boom. Liberties, hold my hands up. But that's the first of the walkway experience that I kind of came across. I mean, after the murder in Wayland, they locked it all, I think, during that time. At the start of the 90s, because I think they started cutting off all the because you used to be able to just walk on from the concourse. Oh, can I come on this wing, sir? This was, and they'll let you on. That apparently that stopped. I don't know whether it changed, but at that time it was that. The second place, right, was High Point. High Point walkway. Everybody released at the same time. I had trouble there both times I was there, and I had to get really, really naughty, sadly, right? Sorry about all that. But I used to come out in the morning in that mode of when you're up for it, when you're mad, when you're crazy, when you've got a plot on this one, looking out the window to spy who's talking to who. Because you've got to get all the facts and you've got to get the evidence. Because when you're going out there and everybody's tooled up with all their weapons and everything, you want to make sure that you're ready. I'm afraid that's how it is. That's how it was for me. But High Point, wow, you could move in. You get a couple of officers standing, one in the middle, one at the end. Some of the things go that way. But I used to be out there at the crack of dawn. As soon as they shout Labour, bang. Not because it was just I wanted to get to work early, but I wanted to be out there early so I could see everyone and the danger and the problems and the old scores to settle coming off their wings. So I used to be out there early with 2 big things, running down there, and I used to think hiding, blending with the crowd because it's a big crowd that comes out in High Point. You can almost walk in between 2 people and kind of nut from the side, when they're coming. A couple of things happened on that walkway. One of the most dangerous walkways I have ever seen, going back and forth to work, because it seems like all the damage can get done before the bell gets pressed, and by that time it's a bloodbath, and they're basically picking up the pieces and running off with it, and that's it. But why not be out there before the violence starts so you can save someone from getting hurt? Loss and control, we've been there before. We know that they're struggling with numbers, but at the same time, prevention is better than cure. Maybe you know that most of the violence happens on the walkway, so why don't you put a stop to it and do 2 wings at a time? But can they? Or is it just going to be procedure all the time? It's the way it is. Everything's meant to be at the same time. The biggest one, and I've got to say it, from whatever all I've known and all I remember, is Swellside. I can't remember what they called it, the M1. or the motorway or the concourse again. I know it was between them three. I forgot the right names. Does it matter? No. But Swellside, my days. When I reached Swellside the first time, because I've been there 3 times, right? Everyone was there the first time, like Kenny, Pat, all of them was there, right? Louis Shepherd, Gary Stacks, it was Steve Jones. Who else was there? Yeah, a few others as well. Big names. That first bit as well. So Terry Gentry, yeah, Billy Gentry's nephew as well. I think he was there. No, he wasn't. That was another time. Anyway, Swellside, when I got there, this is in the 90s as well, I was already now that guy, that nutter who wanted everything and anything of anyone just so that he could go to bed at night, get his head down, and not give a monkey's who he upsets during that time. So I watched, had a couple of beefs in Swellside, the time when I got rushed and stabbed and blah, 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 blah. But this time, I was back and I was ready. So, like I said, the walkways are dangerous, dangerous places. When you walk out onto the Swellside one, you go up the thing, and then there's that way, visits that way, and that. But it is massive there. It's like a big. You got from you're up the top that first bit. Then it's like a big open shop, and everyone, yeah, you go work, yeah, Yammy, yeah, Gary, what are you saying? Serious violence happened down there. Saw a man got stabbed right in his head there and was running and collapsed as well. Swellside is full of it. Was one of the worstest violent places that I ever came across. But also when I developed being Yammy and that nutter who would do anything for anyone at any time just to get what he could get. Um, there were some, at the time, funny ones. So one day we were all sitting in a cell. So no, we was on the yard in the morning, exercise yard, and C wing and D wing meet up on the yard, right? So yep, we're talking, and they're saying there's only 2 people that have got things to currency, that kind of stuff, and they only want cash. So there wasn't anywhere really to go. It was a little bit of a drought time, and everybody was on the yard plotting. So we're saying, yeah, where are you going to get the cash? And they were saying, 2 groups there, Gary, Springer, everyone was around there. I was with my man, they were with their man, and they said, yeah. You know that the postman comes on the walkway at a certain time during labour, apparently 1:30 to 2, and he carries a sack, and in it would be the registered deliveries, the recorded things. The things where people from the outside send money to those their people and have to sign for it by way of a book or a register and get the money put into their account and logged. So I'm listening carefully. I'm thinking that you're thinking that what you're actually saying is, yeah, we're gonna rob the postman and take the sack with all the money in. Bang now. I couldn't believe it. Great idea at the time. But they were on that wing, we were on this wing. Labour got called, right? Bang, gone out there, all hyped up, got the thing wrapped round there, really looking the part, ready to go on a robbery in prison, And we're all circling, we're all in the big bed. A man comes walking down, I think he had glasses, a little bit of long hair, and as he walked, and as I went to move, 2 moved before me. I know it's not very often someone gets there before me, but seriously, they grabbed the bag. The man was having a little bit of a struggle, which is rightly so, because he's there to protect it. They pulled a bag, he pulled that way, the 2 of them thing, and the things fell on the floor. So they picked up a few, and then he grabbed a few. I was gutted because I never got to grab the bag because they were closer to it at the time, and I moved too late, and there was stuff. So he was laughing, the postman, because they only got a few or whatever. So he goes, ah ha ha, he's got the things. But as he's gone like that, with the envelopes, to go like that, to hide the rest of it, he put his hand there. I flew through, done a somersault or a big leap, grabbed the whole thing, and legged it. So the whistle's gone by then anyway, because the rugby, because the walkie-talkies are on the thing, on the concourse in Swellside. So I'm legging it. I got a few silver registered post things. Muggy turnout, but that's what it's like in there. Legged it onto the wing. So I'm heading from one place. I can hear the whistles blowing. I'm running fast. I'm saying, yeah, but you've got to get out of this. You can't get nicked for this. Bang, run there. Got onto my wing. Straight to Pat Tate's cell. Said to Pat, blah, blah. And you could see all the bells. He goes, yeah, but get in here. Put me under the bed, Pat. I had all the things, and I heard him running past Pat's cell, and they wanted to. They said, Pat, we're looking for Yammy. I mean, he's just run past there. And Pat said, he ain't in here, he ain't in here. And they tried to come in. Pat said, no, you can't come in here. He ain't. He's gone down here. I don't know where he is or whatever. So I'm in there. Pat's gone in. They've run down the thing. We've ripped open the things. He goes, Yammy, you're a nutter. He goes, what are you doing? I said, Pat, let me just rip open them. All the things. I've got the cash out, 150. Da, 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 da. He goes, what? All for a bit of that? I said to him, yeah, Pat, all for a bit of that. And he said to me, yeah, you know something? So I ripped up the things. He took all the things. Good stuff, Pat. And he's tied up the thing. He's taken the wrappers. I've taken the cash. I said, Pat, will you hold it for me? I'll throw away the rubbish. You hold away the money. He went, Yammy. He said, you know the postman, you know he's deaf and dumb. I said, nah, he ain't. They never said that. He said, yeah. I said, so what are you saying then? I said, that makes me feel bad. I goes, that means, I'm taking liberties. He goes, no, I mean, what it means is he won't be able to point you out. I goes, of course he could be able to point me out because he saw me. He goes, well, he's not going to be able to talk, is he? I know, it's mad, isn't it? I said to him, oh, I get what you mean, Pat. So I got upstairs. I got tugged for it later on. Was lying down the block for 2 weeks, but came back up and blah, blah, blah. But yes, those walkways are very, very, very serious, right? Those are serious, serious places. Stay away from them because the walkway, nobody can't save you. Nobody's going to try and save you. You're going to be all alone and you're going to have to do your own thing. But you can get hurt just like anyone else at any time. Wishing you a good day. Hope to see you soon. Loads of